Alright, hear me out. Fezandipiti might be broken. Hot take or not, I think this thing is going to be devastatingly strong. Let's jump right on into it. So when you look at Fezandipiti, it's kind of cute, it's a little unsuspecting, and then you look at what's actually in its move pool and its abilities. Yeah. It's got Toxic Chain. Toxic Chain is fun. The user's moves have a 30% chance of inflicting toxic to the target. That's wild because toxic gets worse over time. And if your opponent doesn't switch out, you've just put them on a timer that they really don't want to be on. So there's that. As far as our stat breakdown goes, we have 88 HP, 91 attack, 82 defense, 70 special attack, 125 special defense, and 99 speed. The 125 special defense is nice because you don't need that much investment into it to make sure that special attacks are just going to bounce right off of you, meaning you can allocate more EVs into your HP, your defense stat, your speed, and one of your two offensive stats. And why do I point that out? Well, because Fezandipiti gets access to both Sword Stance and Nasty Plot. Do with that information what you will. As far as our typing goes, we are the first ever Poison Fairy, which means we're immune to Dragon. We have 4 times resistances to Bug and Fighting. We resist Dark, Fairy, and Grass. And then we only have the 3 weaknesses to Steel, Ground, and Psychic, which means you can go for a bulky build on this thing, potentially inflict Toxic while doing damage, breaking Focus Sashes, and your opponent's just not going to have a good time. I wasn't trying to make clickbait when I said it. I think this thing is going to be devastatingly powerful. So let's touch on some movesets, shall we? So our first set that I was thinking of is going to be Bulky Nasty Plot. We can go for Nasty Plot here with a free +2 and instantly double our special attack. That's going to be nice. It's going to be nice, not niced. I don't know why I added a T onto things. I randomly do that sometimes. I just randomly add T's. I blame my family for that because growing up, I heard that all the time. Just, yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. Anyways, we have Nasty Plot to just double our special attack, which will be nice. We have Roost, which will give us 50% of our max HP back in recovery. That's going to be handy, especially if we make Fezandipiti even bulkier with Light Screen and Reflect support. Intimidate support can be handy as well. But what I was thinking too is Grimmsnarl could make a really nice partner for this thing because you can go for the Nasty Plot turn 1, you can go for either a Reflect or a Light Screen, and because your special defense is so high, you could even go for a Reflect on turn 1 and then go for the Nasty Plot. If you take a lot more damage than you were expecting, well, you can go for Roost. Grimmsnarl can go for Thunder Wave into the target and go from there too, slow them down. So you definitely have that option right there. So you have the support option with the Roost to heal up. You can go for Grimmsnarl. Even Cresselia would make a good partner for this thing too, because Cresselia gets a move called Lunar Blessing, and Lunar Blessing gives you a quarter of your HP as well as Cresselia's HP back to it, and it cures both of them of status. So one way of breaking down Stally Mons is to status them yourself. So you can remove that with Lunar Blessing. So that's a thing too. So anyways, going back to Nasty Plot, Fezandipiti, we have Icy Wind for a little bit of speed control, which can be nice because it's also a spread move. So on top of lowering your opponent's speed one stage, you also have the potential of toxicking both of them at the same time, and that can be handy. And then we have Moonblast to take advantage of the fact that we have just raw base 95 power getting stabbed after a Nasty Plot. That is going to hit hard. And on top of that, Moonblast can potentially lower the target's special attack one stage as well. So you got some good odds of adding some insult to injury right there between the Toxic Chain and the Moonblast. Now, you don't have to necessarily run Icy Wind either. I just have that as a support option. You could run Heat Wave, which is another spread move, which has a little bit more damage. It does have a 10% chance to burn the target. So between Toxic Chain's 30% chance of activating and Heat Wave's 10% chance, that can be really handy as well. But another move that we could look into is Hex. Hex could synergize potentially really nicely with Toxic Chain because its power doubles if the target has a status condition. And going back to the idea of having Grimmsnarl next to Fezandipiti, you have Prankster Thunderwave right there. You could also status them that way, and Fezandipiti is going to gain the double power effect from Hex, regardless of whether they're poisoned or not, or if it's paralyzed or not. It's not like Venoshock, where it specifically has to be poisoned to double. So you got that. Terra Ghost can be relatively handy as well to give yourself stab, and then that way you can just further increase the damage output. And now let's talk about what I was thinking for the EVs for this, because we went more onto the moves before I talked about the stat breakdown. But what I was thinking here is we go 196 into our HP to bring us up to 188 total. We have 140 into our defense to bring us up to 120. 132 to bring us up to 107. So once we get that first nasty plot off at +2 and we double our special attack, we're actually going to be sitting at 214. That's going to be the fastest jump right there with minimal effort. And then we have a calm nature and 36 EVs into our special defense to bring us up to 165. And then finally we have 4 remaining EVs that we're just going to throw into our speed to bring us up to 120. Now if you're running the Icy Wind, that'll help too, because then you'll start outspeeding some things over time as well. But if not, you can always go with another Pokemon that can always provide some speed control for it. As far as the item goes, I was thinking we can go for leftovers as well to just get a little bit more HP back. And before we jump on to the second moveset, I'm going to make a quick point. The next moveset is actually going to be a Sword Stance set, but you could do something similar to what I have on this screen right here. The next one's going to be a little bit differently because it's going to be a more speed-oriented set. Now, you could technically use that one for this set too and go for a more speedier version. It's all up to you based off of your playstyle. So let's jump into the physical set. So we have the Clear Amulet as our item here because we really do not want to take Intimidate drops. 91 is not that high of a stat right there. It's kind of best to prevent it from going down. And that's kind of the nice thing where although Intimidate's a thing, there's no ability that lowers special attack, so that's kind of why we can get away with not running the Clear Amulet on the special attacking set that we just had, so just keep that in mind. As far as our stat breakdown for this one goes, we have 196 into our HP like the other one to go up to 188. We don't have that much investment into our attack because our attack does have that extra 21 points that these over the special attack, so we're up to 120. We have 108 defense after 44 investment, 28 points into our special defense to bring up to 149, and then 172 on a Jolly Nature to bring us up to 155 points of speed. And the reason why we hit this point here is so that we can actually outspeed Iron Bundle, even when Iron Bundle has a booster energy speed boost, once we have Tailwind up. So that's kind of the opposite end of the EV stat breakdown that I wanted to go with. As far as the moves go, we have Sword Stance to double our physical attack after one use. We have Dual Wing Beat, which is a multi-striking move, which is nice because the other thing about Toxic Chain, it's not limited to one strike. It actually hits, it actually triggers on each hit. So you got that. Fezandipiti also gets Tail Slap. So if you don't want to run Dual Wing Beat, you could run Tail Slap. You could run that, which hits 2 to 5 times, meaning that's 2 to 5 times chances of poisoning your target at 30%. Now, I'm no math expert, but I really like those odds right there for getting the toxic right there. Now, the 85 accuracy, not the greatest, but just keep that in mind. And on top of that, we still have Roost. So you could go for a bulky physical set like I had on the special attacking set, or you could go for this speedier version too. It definitely depends on your playstyle. Now, let's talk about our hidden ability. It's Technician. So Technician gives us a 50% boost to any move that is under 60 power. So what I was thinking here is we could go for a little bit of a weirder in-between stat breakdown compared to the first two sets. So we have 180 EVs into our speed to go up to 156 on a Timid Nature. We have 60 into our defense to bring us up to 110, 68 into our special defense to bring us up to 154, 76 into our special attack to bring us up to 100 on the dot, and then finally our HP, we got 124 to bring us up to 179. We have Nasty Plant and Acid Spray together on this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to go Technician, We're going to go Nasty Plot to go for the +2. We have the Acid Spray to soften them up. We can also go Terra Poison to double Acid Spray's power while also making sure that it still gets a Technician boost, because that's a thing. We have that. And we have Icy Wind to slow things down. And then if we just want to get mad at our target, we can just Dazzling Gleam them. I don't know how I feel about this one, but I really like the first two sets. So just hear me out, okay? We have the ability to soften them up with that Acid Spray. And then once we've done that a few times, we can just nail them with Dazzling Gleam or our partner. So anyways, I hope I sold you guys on Fezandipiti. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below.